All right, gonna change the spark plugs on a Toyota Sienna van. This is a 2005 Toyota Sienna. Um, I will have to change that cat too. I'm not really sure what that cat is doing there, but regardless, that's the plan. This is my daughter's van. Probably gonna clean the throttle body and all that good stuff. Mass airflow sensor, and got to really do something about that cat. But anyways, that's the plan. That's what I'm gonna do. That's it. All right, I have just taken this piece right here off, as you can see. Got a couple little clips up underneath there that hold it in right here. One over there on the end. Have to take the windshield wipers off, which amounts to, got this little piece right here that fits in over top of this guy. Just pop it off with a little small screwdriver. And as you can see, I marked the places where the windshield wipers go, so I got a good idea where they go back. And also I put the nuts back on the top so I don't lose track of them. As you can see, it's got the little tiny notches right in there, so there's a lot of little adjustments for those windshield wipers. So try to get them back pretty close to where they came from. Now all this right here has got to come out. All this stuff has got to come out in order to get to the back spark plugs. And there's other videos on YouTube. I just thought I'd maybe give it a shot here. So, all right, back to this piece right here. You got the windshield wiper motor, and you got the plug. Got the little piece on the bottom side of it. You just push that right there, and unplugs. Got 1 bolt, 2 bolt, 3 bolt, 4 bolt, one there in the middle. You got to take this here. Now, keep in mind, I had also taken out all the screws right here. We had one here, one there, one there, one there. Was able to get to this one here on the back side. I don't think there was any over here. Well, there probably is. But see, the part of the problem is in order to get to like one back here, I've got to take the wiper motor and this whole assembly out. So I've loosened up these bolts, taking these guys out. And I got that cat crying. Wish like heck she would grab a wrench and help me out here. Well, that doesn't seem to be happening. Okay, so got the plug undone. Okay, got Mr. Nut bolt there. Just gonna grab this guy here and pull it out. Now, oh, you be quiet. And you got a big mouth for a little cat. All right. Okay, so now I can get to this bolt right here. I believe that's about it. And this guy here should come right on off. All right. I missed a bolt over here. There was a bunch of trash in there that I couldn't see it. Goes right in there. And also you do not have to take this particular bolt out, but there is another one up in there that you can see that has to come out. And pretty much this whole piece pops right out from here. Try to do this one-handed while I hold the camera on it. But anyways, you guys get the idea. It just comes on out, and then we're gonna get into all this good stuff. All right, just to clarify a few things, you do definitely want to disconnect your positive side of the battery, just so you don't get a personality change. And this piece right here, you can see, got 3 little bolts right there. You got to take the little nuts off of there, which is this guy right here. Just go on there. These type of Allen wrenches really come in handy for that sort of thing. Wouldn't hurt to have one. You could do it with a regular Allen wrench. Then the back of it just pops off. Just got a couple little deals right there. And you do want to take those little bolts off of there because you want to take them out of there rather, because if you do not and you try to pop that lid off, those things will come out and go all over the floor, and just ask me how I know that one. But anyways, okay, so now we're going to be start to take this one off, take this guy off. We're going to take the air cleaner off. I don't know. I think we're probably going to leave the battery in there. Of course, we're going to end up taking the throttle body out, mass airflow sensor deal, and we got to get to this guy. This is the big one right here. We got to get to that. So I understand there's some brackets in the back, some nuts in the back of this thing that have to come off. And then, of course, you got these right here. We got the fuel rail has to come out. So, and that's all in order to get to the coil packs. Take the spark plugs out, replace them. And while I got this thing out, I believe I'm going to go ahead and clean that throttle body out. It seems like an opportune time to do so. A lot of people don't think about throttle bodies and the mass airflow sensor. You got a little spray cleaner. Well, that's it right there. I'm sorry. Mass airflow sensor. Get a little spray cleaner from the auto parts store, blast it one time, and it's a done deal. So it's pretty easy to do, and it seems like a good time to do it while you got this thing apart. All right, real quick here, just want to kind of show you some things. I've disassembled this little front piece that was here. It's just a couple 10mm bolts. I always try to put the bolts back where it seems like it's a good idea to do it, just so I don't have to try to track them down and figure out which one went where. Now this right here, got a couple of hoses here. This one hose with a little red on it went into the top. That seems pretty straightforward. These two right here going right here, and as you can see, and it was like this. This one here has been marked with the yellow. That one there is not marked at all. So this way we know which one goes where. That kind of comes in handy. Also, when you're putting these things back on, remember that little cutout right there goes into that part right there. It's the same on the other side. That's kind of easy for some people to forget. But anyway, they got that disassembled. Of course, you had the plug, came out, just push it in, and it pops right out. You always want to be really careful with them plugs, because sometimes when they're older vehicles, they get a little bit brittle and will break. So anyways, that's the air cleaner. All right, as you can see, I have taken this piece here loose, just loosen this, and I took a little screwdriver, kind of pried it in there a little bit, very gently, got this guy out of here. Of course, we had this hose connected right here. We got this hose connected right here, which I will take apart now. It should not be a big deal, I hope. You always want to be careful with these hoses that they don't you don't do any damage. But anyways, okay, well, I'll get that when I got two hands available. But anyways, this whole piece comes out of here. We got the throttle body. As you can see too, I did clean the trash out. I fired up my air compressor and blew all the stuff out, trying to keep a lot of the trash out of here. Also, you can use that air hose to chase small animals across the shop. Just saying. All right, here we go. This piece right here that I've gotten loose has to come off. There's two bolts to hold that thing on. Right here, a couple of studs with a couple of nuts on it. Now, I disconnected this hose right here. This is pretty straightforward stuff. I just don't see no reason to mark that. And this particular hose right here goes into here. You do not have to take this one here off because it's already part of this unit. Now, I can pop this guy off and take that loose and take that loose and take this whole thing on out of here. But I just don't see it to be necessary. Keep in mind, we got this hose here. That was part of that one. Remember, we had that where it was marked. I can just leave that on there. I think I'm just going to kind of fold this guy on back, let it set right there. And I've already got a couple of these guys here loose. This right here, by the way, was a ground. That was the little ground wire right there. I took that loose, put the nut back on. And so I'm just going to take the rest of these guys here off. And this whole piece here has to come off. You can see there's another nut back there. You can see that. Nut right there. And then the rest of these are Allen bolts. You can see what size that is. That would be 8mm. That would be an 8mm. So, all right, got this piece here off. Got these Allen bolts out of here. Now over here on the throttle body, we have this hose, which I have disconnected. We have got, of course, this hose right here. was on there from this little piece, as well as this hose, which is coming off right as we speak. Okay, that guy's off. And I see we got a little bit of coolant in there. That was the coolant, so I took this hose here off. I'm not marking these hoses because, once again, they all seem pretty straightforward to me. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see how I could mess that up. So, anyways, got the video of it also, which doesn't hurt nothing. Now, at this point, I've got to get the intake plenum off, and there's a nut back here. I believe there's one in this area. In this area, there's 3 of them back in there, and I got to get to them, pull them, take them off, and then I'll be able to pull this guy here right up on out of here. All right, I have gotten the plenum, the intake, loose. As you can see, that is loose. I got to get this hose right down in here disconnected. This particular hose right here, I could have disconnected it here. Remember this one here, how that thing sat right there? I decided to leave it on, and that hose connects right there to it. Could have just left it there and disconnected it there, but you know, still yet pretty straightforward. So I just got to disconnect that back there, and I will pull this guy loose. The 3 bolts in the back there, kind of a little bit of an issue, but I will go into that later. All right, got the intake manifold off. As you can see, you're gonna have to order a new gasket, which I have got. Definitely want to replace that. Got the throttle body right out here where I can get to it real easy. As you can see, that's probably pretty dirty in there. Yes, it is pretty dirty in there, so that's going to have to be cleaned out. And I think I forgot to mention that particular plug. Not a big deal. With all the hoses and everything that comes off this thing. But anyways, there's the intake manifold. Let's take that there off. So there we go. We got it. We can get to the spark plugs there in the back. You definitely want to cover these holes so nothing falls down in there. That would not be good. And as you can see, there's some trash down in there. I blew this thing out really good with the air compressor before I started taking all this stuff off to hopefully alleviate any issues of trash dropping down in there. But I didn't get it all, obviously, so I'm going to cover that up. I think I may blow that out anyways, just to get it out of there, because I just don't like seeing that stuff. But anyways, so that's where we're at right now. Oh yeah, those bolts in the back, those things are lots and lots of fun. This one right here, 14 millimeter. That one right there is 12 and a 12. This particular one, let me see if I can explain it. This is just kind of tricky stuff. I had to come in here with the wrench kind of like at this angle, and I was able to get in there to it. You see this little bracket back here holding a hose. I believe that looks like a radiator hose or something. But anyways, I come in at this angle, and I grabbed this and I pushed that a little bit. I think I kind of bent it just a little bit out of the way, not much, just in order to help get my wrench down in there. And I used a cheap, was it made in India wrench, mainly because it was a little thinner than the other ones that I had. So sometimes the cheap wrenches, you know, come in handy for some stuff. But I was able to get it at this angle. I moved it out. I was able to break it loose, get a few turns on it. Then I went in there with like 2 fingers and did it. It was not a lot of fun, but it's doable. These over here, with the 12 millimeter, I was able to get this one here off with a socket ratchet of a 1/4-inch drive. And this one right here, I believe I just went in there with just a 12-inch, a 12 millimeter wrench and got that one out. No, I take that back. I used a, no, that's right. I used a ratchet. I used a ratchet on that one. I used a little short stubby ratchet on the one there in the middle. The other one, I think I just used a yeah, that's right, a 1/4-inch drive ratchet and socket on that one. I was able to get this one here, a 3/8 drive with a little, you know, handle that bends. If I had a 1/4-inch drive, ratchet like this, I think that might have been better for the job on both of those. So just making a note. All right, real quick here, spark plugs. I got the laser iridium spark plug. As you can see the number there. This is the old one. As you can see, it is worn, needs to be replaced. This is a new one. These things are supposed to be pre-gapped. And you really, if you do gap it, you do not want to touch that little electrode on the inside there because it is easy to damage those things. Also, don't forget your anti-seize and your spark plug, uh, the boot lubricant. But what you would do, you put the anti-seize on the threads. So if you have to take them back out again, sometime down the road, they come out a lot easier. This right here, of course, is for the boot, spark plug boot. Right here, this is fine camera work. I'm doing this with one hand, but this right here, you just pop this guy on out of here. You can see, you just take your 10 millimeter bolt out of there, you twist it a little bit, you pull it up, but you want to put that anti-seize on the inside of that. So just a quick note, thought that might be handy. While you're in here too, you can always take a look at your radiator hoses. Got your upper, got your lower. These are things that, they'll get a little bit weak right in this area, usually, and you do not want those things to break. If they break, it will usually warp the head and do all kinds of damage just over a simple radiator hose. So, while you're in here, it's always a good idea to look at all that kind of stuff. So, anyways. All right. Well, we got the cat's back. I cannot get her to grab a wrench or do anything worthwhile here, although she has been getting some good cat naps in. All right, on to the serious business. Spark plugs. This is, and I apologize for the mangled up book here. Got this from my son-in-law, who's I think is sleeping with the thing. Torque specifications. Spark plugs, 156 inch-pounds, which comes out to, if you divide that by 13 foot-pounds. So I have got 13 foot-pounds dialed in on my torque wrench here, and going to do it like that. Also, another quick note, and I apologize for the mess. I got too many projects going on around here. Sit that down very gently. Want to take it easy with that thing. When you put your spark plugs in, you always be sure to put them in there very gently. You do not want to cross thread anything. Now, of course, I put my anti-seize on the threads there and put it down in there very, very gently, and just kind of, made sure that there was nothing binding. And so now I got it there, and now I'm going to put my torque wrench on it. I guess I can do this with the camera on. I already got this thing set for 13 foot-pounds. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Okay, all right, here we go. We're doing this one-handed. I'm going to show you how this is done in case you've never done this before. I'm going to hear a click here in a second. 13 foot-pounds is not a whole lot. Come on now. Where you at? I don't like the looks of that. Let me double check some stuff. All right, back again here. I've already got that other plug in. As you can see, I've got the anti-seize compound on the threads. You want to make sure you get it on the threads only. Do not get it on the electrode. Not good. So just to kind of give you an idea, you got the socket here that's got the little rubber boot in it, which holds the spark plug, which is kind of nice. Sometimes those things will wear out, but this one here is a good one. So you want to go down into it gently. If I can hold the camera and do this at one time, I am so coordinated, it's not funny. You want to do this very gently so you can make sure you do not cross the threads. Now, on the other one, I said it was, I think, what, 156 inch-pounds or 13 foot-pounds. And I had my torque wrench on there, but I'm not really sure if that torque wrench is okay or not. So I went with another one. This is a little smaller torque wrench, and I actually set it for, you can see this on here, actually on the inch pounds, no, not centimeters, inch pounds, right there. 156 inch pounds is what I actually got this particular one here set for, and it seemed like it worked a lot better. So this is just a 1/4 inch drive, so I had to get me a little adapter to make sure it was working for the 3/8 drive socket and extension here. All right. I don't like doing this with one hand. Hang on, I'm going to set this camera. Maybe if I can set this thing so you guys can see or not. Oh, it's a little, hang on. Let me try it here. All right. So, anyways, I got the job done. Um, just be careful when you put it in there. All right. You know, you got the back spark plugs here, and I found out here the hard way that you don't actually have to unplug this here from the coil pack. You do not have to unplug the coil pack, and the thing will actually come on out. This thing here kind of fought me. You see I chewed it up just a little tiny bit right there, trying to get that thing up out of there. But you want to be gentle. You do not want to force issues to get that stuff out of there, because you can break stuff. And also, just as a note, you see this little piece right here? That's the piece that you're supposed to squeeze, and you pull that thing off. And every single one of these right here, I squeezed it just a little bit, and they all broke. Not the end of the world, not to worry about it. I've done that sort of thing. I've seen that sort of thing before. I know cars right now in my possession that have been on there like that for years. They get dry rotted, you know, stuff like that will happen. I even noticed with this little piece of protector for these wires right here, very, very brittle. It's like falling apart. You see little pieces down there. I got some extra bit of that stuff. It's just, it's real easy to put on. I'm going to put some more on there just to kind of help protect those wires. But that sort of thing will dry rot. It's a 2005, you know. So this is 2017. So it's got a few years on it. But I just thought that was interesting. Do not have to unplug that. That thing will come right on up. And then, of course, you want to be really careful. It's a little trickier to get to those back spark plugs than it is to the front ones. But nonetheless, just thought I'd make that little note here. All right, we're back here. Just a little update on little Miss Susie Q, who is formerly known as Runaround Sue until I got her spaded. And you can see she's just flat out exhausted, poor thing. Been working so hard, or not. Man, I got too many cars around here. All right. Anyways, just letting you know, I'm not trying to waste anybody's time here. Got the intake manifold. Going to pull off this old gasket. Going to put on a new gasket. And of course, you got to clean up the surface really well here, and as well as right here. Want to clean this surface here really good before you put it back down. Quick note. All right, another little note here. I was noticing when I'm cleaning the intake surface here, can I see that? Yeah. I noticed this right here. This guy right here. You see, this is a little spacer. I don't know exactly what the story is with that. So I was looking, kind of worried me a little bit. I thought maybe I'd drop one off on the other side, but I got to looking on the plenum here. And if you will notice, of course I got my new gasket on, but if you will notice, you got these little spacers right here. And this one here is missing. So just a quick little note. Also, while I had this thing out, and I'm telling you, this was the best way to do it, I cleaned out the inside, if I can show you here. I cleaned out the inside of the throttle body. Trust me, that thing, it was nasty. And I got the cleaner, and I had to really do some scrubbing on that guy to get it nice and pretty on the inside. So that's going to help out everything. If you don't clean out your throttle body, the flap right here will stick, because it will be trash all around the outer edge in there. And so when you give it the gas, it'll hesitate or kind of stick a little bit. As well as, you know, gas mileage hurts, and performance hurts and everything else. So this is a good thing to try to keep your throttle body clean. And it just seemed like a good time to do it. While I got the thing out and where I can manhandle it and move it around and all that sort of thing. So anyways, just thought I'd make that note really about the spacer and cleaning off the throttle body, getting ready to put it all back together here. All right, we got Fat Boy. He's an old cat. He come hang out with us. And of course, we still got little Miss Susie Q, formerly known as Runaround Sue, taking it easy. All right. Anyways, back to business here. All right, we got the intake manifold bolts and nuts, 132 inch-pounds. 132 inch-pounds. And we are talking about, in case you're not aware, these bolts right here, I just kind of put them on there just snug. And these are the nuts that they're talking about. You got the two nuts on each side. You got the bolts. Of course, that's an 8mm Allen wrench. So I'm going to tighten it up here with my torque wrench. So there you go. Okay, I guess now it's cleaning time. Cats are cleaning themselves, and Susie Q got up. Anyways, so now I have tightened up these here. Got all these guys right here. You got the two nuts on the end. I can put this guy here back on there. And of course we got a little bracket and got the two nuts. One goes here, one goes there. That's all that amounts to. And then I'm going to put on the hoses. Don't forget this one over here. We got all these guys. You can see they're all kind of lined up where they need to go. Got this hose, got this plug. And I'm sure there's a few other ones. Of course, we got this one. Remember this guy. This one went somewhere. I'm sure I'll figure that out. I don't know exactly where it goes at the moment. But that's the one we had the little mark on. There we go. A little mark on that guy. So that should be fine. Oh yeah. And then we got this one over here. Remember this guy went from here over to here, so that's no problem. So anyways, making some headway with it. All right, we are back here. The bolts in the back of the intake manifold, a lot of fun. That would be sarcasm if you didn't pick that up. The one back here, the 14mm, you got the 14mm here, 12mm here, 12mm here. The 14mm, extremely hard. What I ended up doing was I actually loosened up the intake manifold just so it was loose so I could move it around a little bit. You're able to get a hand in this direction, and I don't know if you can see that with the camera. Get this direction and a hand right on the top. So I was able to get two hands in there, just barely, so I could get my fingers on the bolt while I kind of moved the intake manifold around. As soon as I found the sweet spot, it went right in. It took me a little while to do that. I don't want to say exactly how long. I'm a little embarrassed to say, but nonetheless, I did get it. I was on the Toyota Sienna forum, and there were some guys who were saying they just left the thing out. I could kind of see where you could get away with that because you do have the other two. The one over here is actually on the intake manifold. This one over here is actually on the throttle body itself. Now, just to kind of let you know, these two over here, at the other end, you can loosen them up because it's that rod that's basically sticking up, and you can move it around a little bit because I did have a little problem with this one right here. I went down on the bottom, I loosened it, was able to move it a little bit and get it in there. So that's just a little note to keep in mind. So far, this job is not that hard except for 14mm bolt. And if you get on the Toyota Sienna forum where they're talking about this particular job, everybody who talks about the 14mm bolt, they all know what you're talking about. 14mm bolt, not a lot of fun. But like I said, you can get a hand in here and a hand in here, and You can get some fingers on it. I loosened up the intake manifold just enough to jiggle it around, and maybe you wouldn't have to do that, but anyways, that's what I did. All right, I've got this piece here back on. I haven't actually got it back on. I just put it in there. Keep in mind you got bolt, 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 another one there. You do not have to take this one here off. Don't forget. And this one back in there. Can you see that with the camera? I guess yes, you can. That one. You got one over here and one over there, and that's it for that. Then bolt that in, and then we'll put the wiper motor and mechanism back in there, along with the wiper blades, which I have it marked where the wiper blades go, so I get them hopefully back where they belong. All right, back here again. Got this piece bolted in. Got the wiper motor and mechanism. We got 3 bolts for this. Keep in mind, you got this one particular bolt right here. That's a long bolt. That would be, let me grab the thing here. I'm trying to do this with one hand so I can hold the camera. We've got this one bolt, long bolt right here. It goes in there, and goes in here. And right there. And that's it right there. So, of course, I put the, you got all the little hoses and the plugs and, mass airflow sensor plug. You got that little plug deep down inside there. And it was pretty straightforward. Got all the hoses back on where they're supposed to go. Everything was pretty straightforward in that regard. I didn't have to mark anything. That one, keep in mind, it had the one mark on there, so I knew which one went there. I don't think it really would make a difference, but nonetheless, I got it in there the way that it came off. So got everything bolted back down nice and tight, nice and pretty. So all right, I forgot we had one more long bolt right here. Don't forget with this particular cable right here, this goes up through the hole. I don't know if you can see that very well with the camera. Goes up through that hole right there. This is, of course, your plug for your wiper motor. And you just got a little rubber grommet that just fits nice and pretty in that hole right there. Plug it in. Just kind of making some points here. And then I'm going to put the wiper blades on and the little piece that goes over top of this. And we're just about ready to wrap this puppy up. All right, we're wrapping this job up. Keep in mind you got the little caps. Go right here. Got this little cap right here. Just pops on. Of course, you had to take it off like that. Got the wiper blades back on. Got the little shield back on. Got that little rubber piece that goes along the window there. Of course, what the story is with that is it helps to keep the water out. So you want to make sure that that thing is nice and smooth all the way through. Everything fits in nice. That thing just kind of pops into place. That's all that amounts to. All right, we're going to test fire this guy and see if it actually works. So let's go over here. Sorry about the sloppy camera work, but you get what you pay for. Look at that. Look at there, will you? I still have the engine shield sitting right here. I'm going to clean this guy up before I put it back on, just so it looks pretty. But there we go. There it is. You can hear the engine running, hopefully. So smooth. Everything looks nice. So the bottom line is with this job, see if I can turn this camera around a little bit on me. I don't know how to do that. The bottom line here with this job is the 14-inch bolt is the hardest thing. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. And I suck at doing this.